Welcome everybody to another episode of Tell Me Everything. I'm your host, Danielle Spinelli. I'm so excited for today. I feel like I found my soul sister. Like this girl is so much like me. It's actually kind of weird. But we were like meant to be best friends. I just know it. So this is the woman in logistics passing the torch over to the next one. KJ, she's so sweet and amazing and just really like her whole story is super cool. So I'm excited for everybody to listen to it. She's just like one of those girls that's like sometimes you meet these girls that are just so warm and loving to everybody and like doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy or whatever you are, like she's just super great. So, anyways, if you guys are not connected with KJ already, I highly suggest connecting with her online. She's kind of all over the place as well. So, hopefully, you guys see her on tour. I should say, conference tours like I have to do too. So, like I said, we're just so much alike. It's really weird, like sports moms and all the things. I'm so excited. Okay, let's jump in it.
Tell me everything. Everything.
Tell me everything.
It's okay. Yeah, cool.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited. Like, I wish we could have filmed this live at BCS, but like, next best thing, right? Like, we get your cool background. We get both our cool backgrounds. This is
I
fun.
think that's just it. We can help advertise for Amazon.
Yeah,
When
for
you're-
sure. Your background
Peel
is the
and stick.
cutest.
Thank you. Yeah, peel and stick. I would love to be sponsored by them at some point in my life. And I joke around and say that I am sponsored by Amazon, but it's only because I have a shopping problem. It's
Yeah.
not in any way because I do any of the things that like the
You're not
actual
like an influencer.
influencers do.
Yeah.
Not at all. I just
Wh-
get way too many orders. So that's my own problem. But
No,
no, I
that's
love yours
awesome.
too.
That would be super cool. But I think it's so important to have like a really fun office because then you just like are excited to go in it. And especially working remote, it's like you kind of have to
Yes.
have fun because you're by yourself. I'm like, "Meh."
When you're exactly, and when your transit time or your time to your office is 5 steps
Yeah.
from the main part of your house, if you can shut your door and kind of be in your own little design world, I mean that's kind
Yeah.
of what I've done here. And I do have, I should even just show it, but I do have a picture of, I'll just do this. If you can see this here, so that's
I
a
love that.
watercolor rendition of Chris Farley in Tommy Boy.
That is, we are meant to be best friends. Let's just,
Yes.
that, like, this is meant to be for sure.
But the part of, so being in sales for so long, or adjacent to sales, the part of that movie that I always loved is when he's kind of doing his first sales pitch
Yeah.
in the office and he's telling the story about the car and everything starts on fire. So
Yes.
that is what that painting is. So I shouldn't say that's my inspiration for being
No,
in
it's
sales,
I think
but
it's a good inspiration, like given the guide of like, of
Yeah.
Chris Farley. Like, yeah, I think it's important to have fun with sales. Like I've been in sales forever too. Like I
right.
just now got out of sales and I'm in like my work even keeps being like, hey, you're not in sales anymore. And I'm like, this is so weird because I've been doing it for 100 years. But I think I think of sales as like an art form. And I think it's just so
For sure.
fun. Like being
It
like
is
being able
fun.
to be friends with people. I'm like, it's the best.
Yes. It's just, can you have the conversation and can you have the conversation with anybody? Right. And can
Yeah.
you tailor that? I think it's so important. So I'm not going to light things on fire. I mean, I think it's also a just a warning.
It's a safety hazard, but
Let's not light things on fire. Let's be safe now. But
that's funny.
I do like walking in and just, fist bump Chris Farley, like, let's go rock this day. So
I
that's
feel
kind
like I
of
need to copy your idea. That's so cool. I love it.
it's funny. It's just fun. So who else has watercolor from the movie Tommy Boy? But I grew up on that as well. Like Wrong, Right, or Indifferent. I grew up with those old school classic Chris Farley and Bill Murray movies, and
Mhm.
the old
Adam
slapstick
Sandler and all
kind of
those. Oh yeah.
comedies. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
I love it.
Like a good millennial, like a good millennial. So
That's how we know you're good. Yeah. Like I said, bestie mode building.
yeah,
I can feel
I
it.
love it.
And it's funny because I actually grew up in Minnesota. I grew up in Prior Lake over there. So small world that you're from.
Did I know
Minnesota.
that? I don't know if I knew
I don't
that.
know. I don't know. But
Okay.
yeah, that's funny.
Because I'm from Eden Prairie, so competition a little
Yeah.
bit.
I
like
left
that.
there when my parents moved me when I was 15. So I've been in Georgia ever since.
Okay.
But
Yes.
yeah,
that's
but I
great.
still go up there as much as I can. All my family's still up there. So
It's great, especially now. So I live currently north of the city, so north of Minneapolis, St. Paul, in a smaller town. I say smaller town, but like it's great. It's like 15,000 people. In the summer, it gets to about 40 because
oh yeah.
it's insane, and it's lake country and people have their cabins and things like that. And so we've actually been out on the boat a few times and just really enjoying what will be a nice like next 5 months before the tundra hits. So
Right.
I do like it for that. I do like it
And
for
right-
that component.
Yeah. And right now it's like pre crazy mosquitoes. Like that kind of comes, what,
Correct.
June? Well, I guess
Yeah.
middle of June, July. Yeah.
Yeah. In a few weeks,
Yeah.
that's gonna
So that was like the
come in hot.
perfect time. Yeah. That was the perfect time. I never go like midsummer and I never go ever in the winter. Like I never will I ever go back.
I
But
don't recommend it.
yeah, but even summer, I'm like, I don't want to go to like I don't really have mosquitoes here, so like I don't want to go to mosquito land. But I do love me
Mhm.
some Minnesota. So,
Yes. I
well,
love
real
that.
quick, I guess let's start off and like do a quick intro on yourself, and then we'll kind of get
Yeah.
into all the things. And I'm so excited to talk to you.
I know, same. Cool. So yeah, my name's right there, but for my full name is actually Katie Jo Swaggert. I say this as a joke. Everything in supply chain is an acronym, so why not the first name? Lots of Katies out there in the world, but I've been going by KJ for quite a while. I would say since the college days. We won't date that far back, but since the college days, I have been KJ. It's just that much easier. Like I said, Central Minnesota. I'm Minnesota born and bred. But I currently work for a company called ProShip. It is a multi-carrier shipping. It's basically technology. So it's a software company. It's great. We're the label that gets slapped on the box for small packages that show up at your house. So lots of big brands. Everyone's seen a ProShip label. Which is fantastic. I joined that company in February from
Fun.
my previous company, Redwood Logistics, which was amazing. I just had a really cool opportunity to dive into a role that was really tailored and crafted for me with my relationship with the people at ProShip. And so I get the opportunity to be head of alliances, which again I say is it's a fancy title for getting paid to make friends. And we talk about like being in sales and making friends and building
Yeah.
relationships. And so I feel like that is one of the best parts about it is the best part about my job now. And you and I both coming off of this crazy travel schedule. And I do this whole like Thursday tour update on LinkedIn, but being able to maintain old connections, build new connections, make new friends, make new besties all over the place. And then I just love connecting other people together too. And
Mm-hmm.
if there's a company or a contact that it just maybe isn't, the synergies aren't there, we're not aligned. And I know, like with Genlogs, right? Like not
Yeah.
necessarily a fit for ProShip, but I know what you guys do. I know so many of your like your staff and the people that work there and love you guys. And I've been able to send people your way. I think that's just one of the best parts too, is helping businesses be successful together by the relationships that I can help forge. And it's so cheesy, but I just
No,
love
it's
it.
not.
I love,
It's
yeah,
not
I
at
love
all.
it.
I'm the same way. Like I feel like it's karma. Like if you connect somebody
Yeah,
with somebody, whatever, the same thing ends up happening with you. Or at least that's how it was for
absolutely.
me. And like the networking. So like a little bit about me. Whenever I
Yeah.
was like I basically I was a broker and then I went into the tech side. And so that my first
Mhm.
conference was I think now 3 years ago. But like I went from not knowing anybody to just like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go meet everybody. And people like some awesome ladies in the industry like took me under their wings and were like, you're
Love it.
meeting everybody. And so then that person led me to more people and more people. And yeah, like I get such a high off of meeting new people. I'm sure you're the same way. But I'm like, somebody new? Okay. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see your connections just grow and like all the people in your circle and all the messages that come in. And it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's not only fun, it is great business. And it is such a small supply chain and logistics in general. I feel like it's such a tight knit space, but then you get
Hmm.
even more streamlined into tech. Or
Yeah.
into parcel, right? Small package, into freight, into security. Like, man, does that circle get even smaller? So
For sure.
it's cool to have people in all those spaces for sure.
It's so fun. So you won the Women in Logistics, like I guess handing off the torch because I won the first one, you won the second
I
one. How
know.
fun! Like,
You're
wasn't
a
that kind
hard
of
act
a
to follow, lady. You're a hard act to follow. I
whatever?
could
No,
grab it. It's just I will grab it. Hold on.
I know
It's just right on my shelf.
mine's I had a shelf for it and my shelf broke, but mine's over
So
there as well.
pretty.
I can go grab it. It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
Wasn't it so for me, whenever they told me, I'm like, wait a minute, people like because like I put in my names like who I think should have won or whatever. And then
Yeah.
whenever they called me and they said it was me, they're like, yeah, you actually had like multiple submissions. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
Like I don't know. Like I felt very honored and like for somebody to like think of
For
me
sure.
in that way was so cool. I'm sure you're the same way. I was blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And when I talked with my good friends at Talento, they're the ones that sponsored the award this year, and she had shared there were 50 submissions, over 30 unique, and when your name comes up multiple times, and I
Hmm.
submitted other people to your
Right.
like, and you're just like, That's nice. So
It's super
continue
nice.
continue to be humbled, continue to be blown away by just the recognition and the appreciation and the people that are so congratulatory. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And Pinnacle Logistics, just posted something about it as well. So it continues to be just this like full circle moment. And Christy is someone that I truly admire that has taken
Me
me under
too.
her wing and let's expand the network and all of that. So yeah, it was unexpected.
Mhm.
We'll put it that way. And then when I had learned that I was a finalist or whatever you want to call it, right? And then had won the award and there was more to come, that's when I was in transition. So it was like the same week that I was really wrestling with do I stay somewhere? I have nowhere to run from, right? I had
Right.
a wonderful job, worked at an amazing company, great people. I had this opportunity. It was what do I do? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I have opportunities in both places. So really working on and wrestling with that, not struggling, but just wrestling with that decision that week. Same week then I learned about this award. Like
Yeah.
this is
But I'm sure
it's
it's
a
almost
roller
like
coaster of emotion. It was a roller
yeah.
coaster of emotion.
And so it's so similar story like this in almost the same timeline. This is so weird. Like so
Really?
my same timeline, I put in my notice in February and then I
Mm-hmm.
started in March, but like loved like have nothing bad to say about my own company. I loved it, loved it,
100%.
loved it.
Yeah.
I just was like, I want something more and this gave me more. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I can keep going. But I think maybe even having the confidence of like, okay, people did believe in me, like winning an
Right.
award or whatever. It's like,
Right.
okay, I can step out and do something else because I know prior to us kind of hitting record, we were talking about like another girl that we know. And it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
how do you know when you're ready, especially as a female? I think we kind of always have a little bit of self doubt or like, if I haven't done this before,
Absolutely.
how do I know I can do this? But if people believe in you and they're like, yeah, go, go, go. Like, I remember whenever I was making my decision, I probably asked like 50 people, like, what do you think? Do you think I can do this? And do you think this? And they're like, yeah,
I'm
stop
taking a
asking me.
survey.
Yeah, literally, literally. So, like, I'm glad everybody said yes because if one person said no, I probably would have doubted myself. But no,
That's
it's
funny.
kind of same story. Like, it's just believing in yourself, which is really hard to do, especially
Yeah.
whenever you're like, you know, I don't know. I'm just like like I'm a fun person. That's kind of all I got. Like
Yeah.
I always say they
Yeah.
hired me for my personality, but yeah, which is great. Like that's great.
That's fine. You
So
can't teach that, right? You can't
and
teach
you
your coach
can't.
personality. Like that's one of
Right.
the soft skills that is a hard thing to teach. But yeah, like when we were talking about our mutual friend, and I agree with you. I feel like often, and what I've seen and what I've experienced and done with myself, like as women, I feel like we can be our own biggest roadblock to moving
Hmm.
forward, and whatever that looks like, if it's lateral, if it's up the ladder, if it's just trying something different. It doesn't always look like a climb. Sometimes it just looks like getting out of your comfort zone, and we can be our kind of our, like I said, our biggest roadblock. And in terms of, I don't have everything I need to be successful, or I don't have all the education, I don't have all the
Right.
experience, I haven't been exposed. But that's okay. And I think knowing and having that support of people that'll say, like, you got 50%, just dive in,
Yeah.
the other 50 will come. And so proud of our mutual friend who dove into a role that she didn't know she was ready for, and she's absolutely crushing it. And so just stories like that make me so proud and make me feel more confident in myself to see other people be successful in that regard. So yeah, so it
Yeah.
was then a good decision to be like, I can do this. I don't know a lot about the company. I'm going to have to like really dive back into my tech mind and integration mind and like all of the things that go outside of what I was doing at my previous company. And it's been an adventure, but it's been a fun one. So can't
It's so
complain.
fun. Yeah, it's so funny too. Like as moms, and both of us are sports moms. So like as
Yeah.
sports moms, I feel like for the kids, you're like, do it, go, go, go,
Yeah.
and
What are
like
you waiting for?
we push and we support, and I kind of have the mentality of like if you, especially like. I guess I've been learning this through my kids, but like if you try something new and you're even if you fail, but like hey, I can say hey, I tried something new and I was successful, or I
Right.
tried something new and I failed. Like the fear of trying something new becomes less and less because you do more and more.
Absolutely.
And so I think it just sometimes as a mom, you forget that for yourself. You're like, you're
Mhm.
just so used to making your kids be supported and stuff like that, that sometimes you have to just be like, yeah, I need someone to push me along and that
Right.
could be myself.
Practice
So
what we
yeah.
preach a little bit, and it's not always easy, right? Or we forget that, and we're so used to your point, just go go. And we both have boys as well. You have girls and boys, but with my boys, it was just so fun to see they're in middle school together this year, which was just like a gods. It was awesome, and they get along super well. So it was a great situation for us. And my youngest decided to try track, and so that was the most recent sports season, I guess we had up here. My oldest had done it for a couple years and just kind of took him under his wing. But to watch my little guy, I say he's almost taller than me, but to watch my little guy, it's scary, try things he hasn't done and try things in running and try things in field events and discus. And my older one is really good at throwing and super strong. And just to see my youngest have no fear and go out and try things, and my oldest kind of coach him and them do
Yeah.
things at home. It's really inspirational, and it seems like such a little thing, but to just look at my kids that are watching YouTube videos of like strategy and
Right.
like stance and form and then go outside and try it. I'm like, okay, how can I take this and tailor it to what I need to be doing? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that same energy and that same mentality it's really cool.
for sure. And I think so me having a daughter, it's almost like part of the reason why I feel like I did take a leap was like I wanted my daughter to be able to have the same mindset of like,
Love
yeah,
that.
my mom did it. I can do it. Like if my
Right.
mom did it, and
100%.
even if I failed, I'm like, at least I tried. And so it's interesting having that type of mindset. I guess it's a lot different than, male counterparts or whatever. It's just a totally different world.
Yeah, it is.
And you
Absolutely.
came from a totally different world, right? Like you
I
started in a
did.
whole different direction and then came here. So that's like a lot of believing in yourself to get out of a whole career path. So if you'll
Mhm.
talk a little bit about your background and where you came from.
Absolutely. I have an interesting story, and my education story and my pathway into supply chain is unique. And so when I'm so privileged to speak at schools or with different groups or mentor, I always make sure to share that story because I think it definitely paints a picture of like try it and you'll be successful. Try, believe in yourself, like surround yourself with
Hmm.
people that can mentor you and believe in you and you'll be successful. So and I shared this at BCS and I can summarize here too, but I have an education background. So I actually went to school for elementary education. I have a bit of an emphasis in science, social studies, and Holocaust studies. And I make the joke that like that's every little girl's dream. Not really. I just have such a passion for that part of history in Europe, and I also have an aunt that's a director and kind of a bigwig at the Holocaust Museum. So there's connections there.
Yeah.
So part of my journey or my dream when I was in college was to go to DC or a big city like that and be part of an education program at a museum like that. So that was something that I was really inspired by, and her she's brilliant and has she started part-time in like the office and bookkeeping and like worked her way up to one of the
Oh
big
wow.
wigs at the museum. So really cool story there. And she's definitely inspirational. Realized that wasn't necessarily my path. So when I graduated college during like a recession basically, or we had really tough times in like 2007, 2008. And I ended up getting a full-time teaching and coaching job up where I currently live in Alexandria, Minnesota. Taught for a little bit and realized I loved my kids, loved my families. I was so fortunate. I loved teaching. I was good at it. But I noticed my passion was more in like the tech side of it, which was interesting, or doing the
Hmm.
curriculum research and implementation of the curriculum, talking with adults, being part of these other groups with adults, like coaching adults. So, with that education background, living in a smaller town, having young kids and being a new mom, we were a little bit landlocked, to be honest. And
Yeah.
so, what can I do to expand my depth and breadth of experience in this area? So, I did a bunch of different things to basically expand my skill set. So, whether it was working retail, sales, marketing, running stores, I tried
Mhm.
things for a couple years to again like expand that skill set and areas that were gaps for me
Yeah.
when it came to the world of business. I then had someone, which I think is so funny, but I had someone see me at our local mall, which is not big. Let's put it that way. It's not it's not Mall of America that I grew up
Yeah.
next to. Just put it that way. But I was managing one of the stores and working with a small group of employees doing just some like sales training. And someone had walked by and just kind of was watching me do my thing with my staff. She pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, I think you should consider if this is not something you want to do forever." We just got to talking and she's like, UPS is actually hiring in this area for people in the business development side. Or she said, UPS is hiring in this area. You should consider UPS." And at first I was like, what do you mean? I was so confused. Like drive a brown truck, which is great. I mean, I
Yeah.
like operations, like get it going. But I didn't quite make the connection or the correlation between what she saw me do as a sales coach and the
Yeah.
operations for UPS. So I'm like, okay, clarity, please. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And UPS, I didn't know it at the time, had this whole other function of the company in business development. And it was, salespeople, account managers, marketing, solutions. And it was really cool. And at that time, this will date me, Danielle, but there was an advertisement in our local paper for this position that was based out of
Mm,
my small town. And it was a sales type account management position. And that's what she was referring to. And it's interesting because at that time, also, there were a lot of prerequisites for roles like this, very
yeah,
specific degrees that you needed from college, right? Business, equitable experience. I had none of it.
right,
None. Not a business degree. I had had some experience over the last, like year and a half, 2 years with local companies and consulting and business, but really not, I did not match the mold of what they were looking for on paper in
right.
particular. So we talk about, hey,
Which can be
even if you're not
discouraging. Yeah,
yeah, it's discouraging and we're our own biggest roadblock. So I really wasn't, I shouldn't say not excited, but I really was like, what's the point of me applying if I don't even fit the prerequisites, right? Like, I'm
yeah.
really
They won't
not
even
what they're
talk to me. Right.
they're not
Yeah.
even going to talk to me. So what I ended up doing is I did apply for the role and I actually wrote a letter, kind of like when you're buying a house. I wrote a letter like, please pick me and here's
Yeah.
why. And this is what I can bring to the table with my background as an educator and what I've done. And so I really wanted to highlight more of the value and how that related to what they were looking for in terms of like education and background, and why I felt that that was equatable to what they were looking for. So I ended up getting a couple interviews. It was so interesting because you had to take like math tests and all these other like
Oh,
cognitive
wow.
assessments. Yeah, it was intense. Amazing company. They definitely find good people and weed people out, and there's a reason for that. But
Yeah.
took a bunch of assessments, and so when I go speak at schools, I talk about that too. And I'm like, I had to take a huge math test, you guys, like for a job. So when I'm
Yeah.
in my husband's math class or another math classes, I'm like, oh no, like every day I'm using math, and here's how. And so I passed all of that, and then got to the panel interview, and they actually came up to Alexandria to interview a few people because this is where from the city, so a couple-hour drive, because this is where it was based out of, and with a few different people in the room. And I spoke about this at BCS as well, but there was one lady in the panel that was my first boss at UPS, and she was one of the first female diverse leaders at the company
Mm,
in Northern Plains District, and is still a good friend to this day. I can't even like see her without hugging her and crying and being like, "You changed my life," but she did, and
yeah.
they all. The interview went really well, obviously, and they all liked me. And she was the one that kind of fought tooth and nail, though. Like, it wasn't normal for that company to hire someone off the street. That's what they called it. Someone
Yeah.
not from within. And I was I was a unique case for them. And that was such a great experience. And it was so wonderful to have her have my back and just continue to be a mentor and support that and support me getting that job. So being like an elementary school teacher to going into a huge, Fortune company in a starting position was a big gap. It's a huge
Yeah.
difference.
I can
And
only
she fought
imagine.
she fought tooth and nail, and I learned so much, and I'm super appreciative. And so that opened up for me this entire world that I didn't even know existed in
Right.
supply chain and logistics. Had no idea. And I think that's something that I love to speak about when I go around and talk about being a woman in logistics and a female. Is I didn't even know about this world, and there's so
Yeah.
many things we don't know about, and all the careers and roles that are going to exist for like Gen Alphas or the people coming up in the world, the professional world, I should say. Jobs they're gonna have a job that doesn't exist today, and
Right.
that's what's crazy. So continuing to support and speak about that and speak about my background, you're going to change your mind, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And I think that's also a big message. Is you and I mean when you and I were excuse me going to school and growing up, it was kind of like loyalty. We were preached
Right.
loyalty, right?
Right.
And you
100%.
stick it out, and you do that, and it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to change your mind multiple times.
Yeah.
But I have
I
to
feel
say,
like
when I got in supply chain, we're not leaving. So
right, I
it's
know. What's cool about supply chain is that there's so many avenues. Like, if you get bored of
yes.
one area, you can go into
Yep.
warehousing, you can go into international. Like, there's so much in supply chain that I feel like you could completely, it's still kind of, even I've seen people like shift paths to like a different sector, and you're like, that is like a career change. I mean, it
Right.
is totally different,
Yes.
but there's so much
Hmm.
like niche areas, I guess. But I was just
Yep.
going to bring up the fact that I guess you were like, like you just said, like knowing that whenever you're like young, and the same thing, I decided not to go to school right out of high school. I had my daughter really young too, but
Mhm.
part of it was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was
How are
good
you
at
supposed to
sales.
know?
Yeah, I was like, I'm good at sales. I'm good at networking. I'm good at meeting people. But like, what do I like? I could get a job in sales without having to have this big degree and getting debt and whatever. So like for me,
Absolutely.
it was like that mindset. And I was technically I still feel like I am in sales, but I think that's just something like you don't have to know. And even no matter what your age is, like you can change. I feel like even like I'm in my like late 30s, and it's like I could change right now and I still have so much
Yeah.
life ahead that I think
Oh,
we forget
100%.
that. You know what I mean? Like we feel like we're
Absolutely.
old, but we're not. So,
No, right.
yeah.
And that's
Or
okay. And I
yeah.
share that too, right? Like when I speak, I'm like, I'm 41. Like I'm in a different decade. And so for me to go to this is the smallest company I've ever been a part of and take a little bit more of a leadership role. Like I have such high hopes for what I'm able to do with this company and be here for quite a long time. And that's great. But maybe I'll change my mind when I'm 50. I don't know. And it's
Right.
okay to not know. And it's okay to adjust to your point and make those changes and try something different. And there's going to be roles, Danielle, in the next 5 to 10 years that didn't even exist right now. Partnerships, what I do and alliances, that didn't exist 10 years ago, right? So like it'll be interesting to see what comes up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, who knows what path you go down. Another thing I was going to bring up too is like what's interesting is like as my kids get older, like my older two are going into their senior year, and then my
Hmm.
youngest is 11, and so you even with middle schoolers, like it's like oh I don't have to take care of these little guys and stay home and do all these things. Like I can actually be my own person
Yeah,
because I think as
right,
moms too we forget like they're going to leave us, and then what do we do? Like
right.
I think it's you get really wrapped up in your identity with your kids. And so that was something for me that I was like, I don't want to just be a mom. Like I almost hate being called a mom. I'm like, don't even call me that. But because
Yeah,
I wanted to still have like my own personality. And I think that's part of the change. Like I think I was for me anyways, it was like my late 30s where it was like I realized, right? I would say like 35 is whenever it kind of started. Like I realized I want more. I can do more.
100%.
Let's do it. And
Mhm.
I had the ability, I guess, to do it with having my kids being older. So it's very
Yeah,
interesting your story too with like, being able to do all these things, and especially like being a mom. It's like being a teacher is perfect for their schedule and doing all that
yeah,
stuff. You're like,
for
this isn't
sure.
what was meant to be. Like I know I can do more and I can do not that
Yeah.
teaching isn't more, but you know what I mean? Like I can do different
Yeah.
things.
It just wasn't I'm still teaching and I'm still using that skill set, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great. But yeah, with the schedule, it's wonderful. I think we can be a little bit more flexible in the world of business. So like where their dad, my husband's a teacher, he can't necessarily leave his classroom and go to my youngest had their graduation yesterday, but like
Yeah.
I can go for an hour, all those things. So if I
Yeah.
didn't have such a good bestie at home and such a good teammate, I think it would be a little bit more challenging. But I went through that same thing at around the same time where I grew up a little bit differently. I grew up with a parent that was home and that was the
Mhm.
identity. And that person continues to be a caregiver. And that's just not necessary. It's not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily my MO and it's not my personality. And I do think it's also wonderful and so important and something that my husband and I have really worked on and tried is to be this like super equitable partnership. We are best friends. We run our house as a 50-50. If I'm traveling, it's obviously a little bit different, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 100-0. Like it just
Right,
depends.
right.
But for my boys in particular to grow up and to see that, right? Like
Mhm.
dad cooks. Like it's a I love for them to see that because I love for them to see how what does participation look like in your life and then having a mom that is visible in this industry and oh I got I'm recording a podcast with a friend today and they're like cool have
Yeah.
a great day like I just think it's so important for them to see that and to see a strong female and a strong female that is out of the house and
Yeah.
I just think that's the change to your point there's a difference there and so yeah, raising tomorrow's gentleman. That's my goal, lady. That's
Yeah.
what I say. So,
Well, I 100% agree. And it's funny because my older son, he's dating now, and so he was like, yeah. At first, he was dating like these girls that were, I don't want to say like easy. That's not the right word, but like that they were messaging him. You know what I mean? Like they were chasing
he was
him. It
being
wasn't
pursued. He
he
was
was
being
being
pursued.
pursued,
Got
and
it.
so he was like, they were kind of pursuing a lot of guys, I guess, but like in a way where like that's just kind of the way that these girls were. And then he started like liking this one girl who was similar to, I guess, my mindset, where it's like very independent, like did her own
Love that.
thing, and like
Mhm.
she was killing it at school and like just killing it in all sorts of things. And he's like, well, actually, like she's really cool. I'm like, well, then talk to her. He's well, she hasn't talked to me first. I'm like,
No,
you can talk to her. Like that's actually a great thing. That means that
you
she's like
can use your
probably,
phone and
yeah, that's like, and it's funny because like I guess kind of where I'm getting at is like the traditional, like a guy approaching the girl, like all of the things have changed. So it's so interesting
yes,
for this, like our
yes,
kids and their kids' generations of like, what that mold will look like. And it's super exciting for women, coming up and seeing like we can do this. Cause right now there are a decent amount of women in logistics, but a lot of them are at like a dispatcher level or at kind of like a
sure,
lower, a secretary
yeah,
level. And I'm like, we can run businesses. So like even Christy being the CEO of her company, and like there's just, you
that's
can do
so
all
great.
these things, and you can talk to people that maybe you're at this level and they're at this level, but I've
Yeah,
had the experience, I'm sure you have too, where it's like no matter what level, we all connect on like a different level with being,
for
women,
sure.
that it's like
Mhm.
everyone will talk to anybody and mentor somebody and, that whole thing. So that's
Yeah,
that's my rant on that.
I
Yeah.
like soapbox. Like,
Yeah.
thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
One of the things that, as we're on this track with like families, I'm curious if you found this as well. So, at my previous company, we had a really wonderful women in logistics program and mentoring program, and it was something I just loved being a part of. And we had an in person event in our office one day, and we sat around the room. And we just went around and said, like, a fact about yourself. And somebody started with, well, I'm the oldest daughter. And then it was like kind of a fun thing then we all kept going. And the
Yeah.
amount of oldest or only daughters in the room was
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah.
So
I'm the
I don't know
oldest.
if that's a thing.
I'm the
So
oldest.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen that or heard that. Like, I'm the oldest daughter, I'm the oldest, and I'm the oldest daughter. But when I come across other females that are similar to me in the space or other leaders, I kind of make a point to ask, like,
Yeah.
are you the oldest or are you the oldest daughter? And I'm not even kidding. It's like
I'm sure.
90 some percent. It's every 9 out of 10 that I come
Wow.
across. And that is, so I think that's interesting. So I'll ask you
Very
that. Are you the
interesting.
oldest or the oldest daughter?
I am the oldest. Yep.
See?
And even oldest granddaughter, like I was the oldest in
Same.
the whole family. Yeah. I
So
think
I don't
that's
know
so
what that
funny.
is. I
Yeah.
don't
That's
necessarily
something.
believe in like birth order stuff, but I there might be something to it, and there might be
But birth
something to
order
the
is a
it is a
thing. Like
it
I
can be a
see it with my
yeah.
kids even, like as much as I
Yeah.
try to not make it be a thing, but like the baby is the baby. Like I baby him pretty
Mhm.
bad. And not try I really try not to, but like my older daughter will be like, "You just let him have whatever." I'm like, "Well, call me out on it when I'm doing that." And
Right.
so she's been doing that now, but and now I regret
You don't
saying that, but
realize that it's my baby.
yeah.
But
But
that's
no,
something
that's
that I
interesting.
noticed and I try to make a point to ask, and it's very interesting. So it'll be interesting as you like talk to more people or you're at shows that I'm not at, like
We'll have to do a
9 out of 10.
poll.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
9 out of 10.
We'll have to do a poll on LinkedIn, like
We
women say this.
should.
Yeah. I'll
Yes.
do that. I'll tag you because that would be
Okay,
very
perfect.
interesting. This has been
That
so
would be.
fun. I so appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
Kind of before we officially wrap up, anything else you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
I just again appreciate the time. I love your platform, and obviously I think you're doing just such great things in the industry and for women and just the industry in general. So I so appreciate that, and being able to like meet you through the award was so awesome. One of the things I will just, I mean, because I know we're talking because of the award, but again, I continue to be grateful and humbled, and there is a component that we can do something and give back. You've done that with the podcast, and so with my background in education, I just think the last thing I'll share is I'm able to take that award and create just some mini scholarships focusing on females that are looking at supply chain. So I have some like mentoring opportunities that I'll start with summer session next week in neighboring colleges in the Midwest, and then some school speaking engagements that I was able to do in May. So my goal is to continue to just really keep with the brand and keep with the visibility and just relaying the message and my background and just that message of you can do it, and belief and supply chain is cool.
Yeah.
And we need more chicks, and
We
let's
need more
go.
chicks. Yeah,
We need
we
more
do.
chicks. So I appreciate that. And so that's what I'll be doing with the monetary and time component. So I'm really excited to keep going with that. So
Yeah,
thank
I think
you.
it's really cool to kind of be able to give back in a way that's totally unique. Like it's interesting the way you're doing it versus the way I did it. And then, if there's anybody else that goes down the line that does things, it's like it's just so interesting on like because part of it, I guess, whenever they like awarded it, like, hey, you can do whatever you want to with it. Like you can keep it, go
Right.
buy a new purse, you can go do whatever you want to. And I kind of like the podcast, I kind of always had this dream where I was like, because I was on so many podcasts. I'm like, I could
Right.
do, like, I love shooting the shit back and forth. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
So I could do this. And this kind of gave me like I think I was also on like a high of like, people believe in me and I could believe in myself with the podcast. I don't know. It was just kind of fun.
I
So
got
that was
this.
kind of my thing. Yeah. But yeah, that's very cool that you're doing that. I think that's a very unique way. And
Thank
would
you.
happy to be a mentor of whoever too. So if you need another woman
Yeah,
mentor, I'd love
I
to.
will take you up on that and all the other like awesome connections and women I've met through BCS and Talento and Knickel. And there's just so many great people that I think we can grab and we can, keep this going and spread it. So stay tuned. More to come, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what like the next generation coming in, and the percentage of women coming in because I think it's definitely a thing. So
I agree. Let's keep
yeah,
it going. We're gonna keep it rolling. I like it.
keeping it rolling. Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks so much again for joining me. Been really great
Thanks.
to get to know you. And like I said, total like it's so weird the alignment between like both of
Yes.
our lives. It's like I'm kind of like this is weird. Did they pick this on purpose? Like
Was this meant to be?
yeah, I
This might be
know.
a little
It's
meant
so
to be.
funny. That's so cool. I'm like getting blushed from that for some whatever reason. Anyways, wow.
Making
But
you blush. It's okay.
I know. Well, thanks so much again, and bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.